On guys, before we get into this video, I just want to make a short 20-second thing just saying I talked a little too much in this video and I screamed a little too loud. Overall, I don't know how to feel about how I did, but anyway, just watch it to the end and let me know how I did in the comments. Sit back and relax and enjoy my madness. Have a good day, guys. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite inconsistent YouTuber. Well, on top of this being like a celebration video for 2,000 followers, just to put some more content out, I'm also going to go over a couple of things like an update video for my channel. I know if you notice from the intro, there's like a change of scenery. I tried to shoot some videos yesterday and the audio was bad, so I'm out here doing this again. I'm going to go over 5 things I hate about this car, which they're really hard to find, so bear with me. It might even be like little tiny stuff, because don't get me wrong, this is my dream car and I'm not really going to find as many things wrong with it as I can good, but I have a couple to list and then a couple things that have happened to me to point out. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I hate about this car is going to have to be the passenger seat. Hate's a strong word, but I mean, I never sit here, so it's not really a problem for me. I'm 6'3", and I have a lot of friends that I associate with that are around my height. So the passenger seat becomes a problem because my seat is all the way back and all the way down, and this is how close my knees are to the dash. Now, I'm not uncomfortable and it's not ridiculous. Look at the symmetry of the car. I think that the driver's seat should have the same capabilities of the passenger seat, you know, if not, I mean, maybe a little more, but not a huge drastic difference. I mean, it feels kind of like I'm in the back seat in the passenger seat. I'm not uncomfortable in any way, but I just think that it should be, you know, at least similar, not, you know, this different. But I guess that's one of the things that Dodge does to try to make the driver feel a little bit special, even if it's on purpose or not. But this just seems to be a reoccurring problem. I always hear, man, you got a 4-door car and, you know, my room is, you know, absolute shit up here. That's just one of the things that I think that could be changed. But overall, the seating is good, and I've never heard a complaint from one of my backseat passengers, so that's a plus. I just think that the driver's seat should be, I mean, similar to the passenger seat, just because it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, look how close I am here. I understand that not everybody is a giant and that I'm probably just being a douchebag, but I have people who ride with me that are bigger, and I fit just fine in the driver's seat. I feel like a fucking little kid over there, and then meanwhile, when you sit over here, you feel like you're fucking Shrek. Okay, so this is one thing that I want to go over. I'm not really going to add this to a list of things that I hate, just because it's not a reoccurring problem or it's not something permanent. I'm aware this is only a problem in the 2017 vehicles. I had a glitch recently where it took away my performance pages. It literally took it off, and I was rolling around like a fucking base model. All I had was just my like music and just the 8.4. I had no launch control, I had no performance pages. Everything was absolutely fucked up. Everything has been running smoothly up until that point. I did have to go to my dealership, and you know, I don't want to pull a RP Productions over here and complain about my dealership, but they couldn't update it twice when I went there, and it was so annoying. I can't stress to you how pissed off I was when I waited there, and they were like, sorry, we can't update it. Sorry, we can't update it. Can I do it at home? No, you cannot update it at home. I said, okay, that's fine. So they had to go on Chrysler and they had to completely update the shit, and it just, I mean, it's fine now. I mean, it's got good, I mean, it's better than it was before. But that's just one thing that I wanted to add. I had a problem with it, and it really pissed me off, and it was troublesome for like a week and a half. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I've heard a couple of my friends, even with Hellcats 2017s, that have problems with this, and it's insane. Alright, so the second thing I dislike about this wonderful car. Why is there f***ing chrome in the interior? In the Challengers, they decided, hey, let's make all of this shit black. You know, let's make it look good. Let's make it say Challenger. They do Challenger Shaker. They do all this cool shit. And then you get this. Black, black, black. How beautiful. And then chrome. It's probably just a pet peeve of mine because I don't like this metal looking etc. You know, I don't like any of this chrome stuff, but it is a problem to me, and I think that they could stand to be a little bit more creative in the Chargers. Now, this does have more black than my previous Charger did. The other one had chrome around the vents. This one, however, has black, but then they still leave that shit. I think if you're going to go black, you don't go back. I don't think that you should put chrome where you try to put black and mix match it. Maybe it adds a nice expensive feel and touch to the Charger, which I mean, I like that they did. It's more of a bother to me because I am going to have to eventually change all of this out. I'm talking like chrome locks, chrome shit on the doors. I mean, just little tiny stuff. It's not a big deal, but then again it is. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, damn. Also, I think that they should have done a little something extra for the Daytonas as far as maybe making that yellow. Not every Daytona is the same. I like the yellow one because they all have the brass and gold interior with the yellow stitching, and that works good for my car because it's actually yellow. But if I had a green Daytona or a gray or, you know, just some kind of bright color, if I had a red one, I would be pissed. So I'm glad I got yellow, but I feel like the interior could stand to be a little bit more creative and give to the Daytona vibe. That's just one of the things. Alright, so before we get into the next thing that I dislike, you guys have probably noticed that I did get my hood wrapped. Excuse the wind noise. I tried to pick a good location, and yes, I know my car's dirty. It was clean yesterday when I tried to film, but that's just the shitty things that happened to me. My audio was all bad. But real quick, I do want to talk about something that I want to do to my car. Inside the hood, now, okay, if you guys haven't gone to check out his channel, you should. I have it in the description. But his name is honestly OCD. He's a good friend of mine, and he's one of the coolest YouTubers I've ever met. He's probably one of the only reasons that I do have this car. He inspired me to get something that I loved. I watched his channel grow for years, and now he has a beautiful octane red Hellcat. He does some cool shit on his channel, and I fucks with it. So he recently did his engine bay with carbon fiber. He did the whole inside carbon fiber, and just I want to do shit like that. Right now I'm trying to focus on the outside of the car, not as much as on the inside, like under the hood and show and shit like that. He really did a jam up job, you know, like as far as like his strut bar, and even on his previous Scat Pack he had some good, you know, shit that he was doing. But this car, I know it's dirty inside, but it needs an upgrade for sure. It definitely needs an upgrade, and I wish that I just could throw it all on there, but I'm trying to do everything slow. So this is one of the things that I do plan to do to my car. It looks a little plain besides from an air intake from the factory, but I really dig it, and one day I aspire to be like Mr. Honestly OCD, but we'll get there. As far as my hood wrap goes, I did get it wrapped, and I did want to get some footage of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to because I forgot my tripod because, you know, I have ADHD. I think it looks outstanding. I really like it. Right, so the third thing that I dislike is not really a fault with the car. It's just a fault in my mind, which happens a lot because I have ADHD, like I said. Anyway, so the thing is, if the Daytona is a step down from the SRT, and it's a step up from the Scat Pack with the brakes and the tires and exhaust, blah, 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 I think it should have a little bit different stuff inside. I don't think it would kill Dodge to do something a little different, just because, you know, the Daytona is supposed to be a heritage model. Now, that's one of the things that I do like about it a lot, but as you can see, there is Scat Pack gauges in here. I mean, they are exact same. And also, I had a cool idea, and I think that when your performance pages came up, how there's the RT pages, which is insane, I think there should be a new model Daytona on here, or maybe even, it wouldn't be much to ask to put a 69 model Daytona on there with maybe the color of your car. Like, if that would make the entire car. You know, if there was like a little splash screen with the Daytona track on it, and it had Daytona, and it was just the same as this, even the same, and it was called the Daytona pages, I would probably shut up forever. I would never complain. I just think that I'm driving a Scat Pack with upgraded brakes and tires. Now, don't get me wrong, the Daytona badges and stuff set it aside, but all they did was change that from Charger to Daytona. You know, I'm eventually going to have all this changed, but I don't think it would have killed them to put Daytona, you know, right here, or maybe, you know, do some different little paddles or something vintage. I'm all about the, you know, just the fact that it's a heritage model, and they don't make these every year. So I think if I were to pull up and have like my gauges like a vintage, like old style, or maybe even like a different style, or maybe, you know, a different body style. Like if this was a Daytona, like that would be so cool. I just think that's something that would be cool to add maybe one day. I don't know if anybody has thought of this or reasons why it might be wrong, but that's another thing I hate, is just that the interior, I feel like I'm in a scat pack. Overall, I love the performance pages. I did not have them in my last car. I just think that since it's a heritage model, it should have, you know, a little bit better shit in it, especially since it's a middle model. I mean, the Hellcat and the SRT have the SRT pages. Hellcat's a little different. You know, everything's different except the Daytona. The Daytona is an RT scat pack with badges and vinyl and brakes and tires. If it was something like that, I would just be blown through the roof. That would absolutely make my day. All right. So the fourth thing I dislike about this car is I've had 2 Chargers, and each time my dash looks like a football. I'm trying to be unique here with the shit I'm coming up with. People have done these videos forever, and I've never heard somebody talk about this. Now, the thing I do like about the interior, suede, stitching, you know, even in the doors, it looks beautiful. And then, bump, bump, what the is that? I mean, the whole car is beautiful, but I just feel like, you know, everything looks great, and then I look at my dash, and I just want to tear the interior up and throw it across a patch of turf like I'm Peyton Manning. I don't know what they could do differently in the interior. Maybe the same material with like a different pattern, because this looks like my dash turned into like a 90-year-old woman's ass. I'm really stressing hard to try to find things I hate about this car, so I include stupid things, and I don't want to say the same shit like, my lights, they come halogen and I had to change them to LEDs. It's like a $100 mod, who cares? But other than that, that's one of the things that I just dislike about the car, and I feel like they could have done differently. So let's get into the next thing. Okay, so before I get into my 5th and final thing, through this boring ass talking video, I didn't want to sit in the car the whole time because I know this is boring as shit to watch, and then you just got to hear me. There's going to be some little music in the background, but this is probably one of the most boring videos I've ever made. Now, a lot of people just kind of talk to the camera and like show their face and shit like that. You know what? That probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't really have the setup to do that, and I'm kind of saving a face reveal. You know, I think my charmingly good douche looks, you know, should be shaved. Should be shaved for a different video. All right, and the 5th and final thing I want to talk about is not even with the car. It's just a problem I have with the Daytonas in general. Now, as you guys know, I bought a 392 version of the Daytona. That's another thing I don't like. It came with like this little vinyl badge. I intend to get this chrome part of the 392 painted black, and then have the inside yellow, and maybe I'm probably going to do away with the Hemi unless I just do, you know, like yellow on the outside and then do black. I don't know what I'm going to do. But eventually I am going to change this, and, you know, that's something separate. But the only thing to separate the 5.7 Daytona is the fact that it has no 392 badge on the side, okay? And the fact that the rims are different, okay? I just wanted to show the front because I wanted to show them beautiful 6-piston Brembos. Anyway, but this little line right here, this is the only thing separating me from the 5.7 Daytona. You can't hardly tell a 5.7. If I were to take a 5.7 and put this badge on the side, then I would have a riced out Daytona. I think even the brakes are the same, I'm going to say. But that's really the only thing to separate me. Not everybody pays attention to that. I mean, it looks really good, but then the 5.7 just comes straight out. This has kind of like a split. But other than that, that's the only thing to really pull me apart from a 5.7. Now, if I were to take a 5.7 and put it right in beside me, other than the 392 on the side, the rims are so black you can't even really tell. So I look identical. And don't get me wrong, they're still good cars. Maybe if it had 345 on the side, you know, or maybe if it had 5.7 liter, I don't know. But you could really easily rice out a 5.7, and I feel like that doesn't make me any different other than what's under the hood. Just to do like a little ending here, I do not hate my car. I feel bad for bashing on it this whole time and trying to make up reasons why I hate it. There's a couple things that I do not like that I mentioned. The other stuff is just little tiny small stuff that's not even a huge issue. But I do love my car. I'm in love with it. Like I said, I mean, I'm 18 years old, and if it wasn't for a couple people who inspired me to get my dream car, and, you know, just people that, you know, I finally met just because of this car, you know, I wouldn't be as happy and I really do take pride in it. I just hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, and I'm so excited to keep doing this. I eventually want to make this my career. I'm doing like little small jobs, things like that, and I pay so much to own this car. I mean, my car note is 700 something, like 709, and my insurance is 960 a month, even if I pay it in bulk for 6 months. So the reason I don't have, you know, crazy amount of mods is just because it costs me, you know, quite a bit to own it. And, you know, in order to afford this lifestyle, I need to be working all the time. I feel really unique, and I feel great with this car, and I couldn't have it any other way. I mean, just an overall look of what I've done with the car, besides the black badges and rims that everybody hates. The hood is beautiful. I'm so glad that I decided to do this, and it matches the roof, and it matches the rear, you know, with the Daytona. So I'm super excited to show you guys this, and I think that the car is coming along great. This has been the bitch session of my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the love and support. I'm really having a hard time coming up on YouTube. That's because I don't post a lot. Hopefully I'm gonna have a lot more good content, and hopefully my Instagram is gonna continue to soar. Thank you guys for taking time out of your days to watch this, you know, crap video. I love you guys so much, just because of the community of owning this car, of owning a Mopar in general. There's such a strong vibe through the car community. I talk with everybody on my Instagram, and this has just been a great experience for me. This is kind of like a boring update video slash things that I hate, but there's gonna be a lot more good, fun videos, hopefully a lot more installs coming soon. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.